It doesn't matter how clean your diet is. It doesn't matter how much water you filter. If this one category stays untouched, you are undoing your own work every single day. But it's not your fault. You are taking on the habits of those who came before you. But you can change all that today. And not because you end up paying only $6 a year for cleaning supplies, and not just because of your own health, but those of your grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. By this time, you are probably aware that your body has a toxic burden, a total amount of chemical stress it's managing at any given moment. Every source adds to that load, and at some point, the load exceeds the body's capacity to clear it. That's when symptoms show up. Environmental toxins are one of the most overlooked root causes of chronic, unexplained symptoms. Not the dramatic, not the most obvious, the most overlooked. For many of my clients, reducing chemical load in the home is one of the first shifts that produces noticeable change. Not because it's magic, because they finally stopped adding to the problem. By the end of this video, you are going to understand what risks you are actually taking in your home right now and exactly what to do about it. Let's start with something that happened about 70 years ago. Something nobody told you. Something that changed in every home in America, and something your body has been dealing with ever since. For thousands of years, literally thousands of years, human beings cleaned things with one substance: soap. Real soap. Made from animal fats, plant oils, wood ash. You've probably heard the phrase, lye soap. Well, that's what your great-great-grandmother made on the farm. From tallow, or lard, or rendered fat mixed with lye from wood ash. It worked. It cleaned. It was biodegradable. When it went down the drain or into the earth knew what to do with it. By the 1800s, commercial soap was being manufactured, still from fats and oils, still recognizable to the planet. Ivory, Castile soap, old bar soap formulas, all natural base. This is what people washed their clothes with. This is what people washed their dishes with. This is what they washed their bodies with. And then World War II happened. Here's where the story gets interesting. During World War I, and then again during World War II, there was a shortage. Animal fats, vegetable oils, the ingredients that had always gone into soap were being rationed, redirected, needed for the war effort. So, chemists had a problem to solve. How do you clean things without the raw materials you've always used? And the answer they came up with was to synthesize something, to make it in a lab. From petroleum. The first synthetic laundry detergents started appearing in the 1930s. Dreft by Procter & Gamble, 1933. Then in 1946, 1 year after the war ended, Procter & Gamble launched Tide. They called it the Wash-A-Day Miracle. And it was a miracle of marketing. Petroleum-based synthetic surfactants that could lift dirt from fabric in ways natural soap hadn't done before. Americans loved it. By 1953, just 7 years after Tide launched, detergent sales in the U.S. surpassed soap sales. For the first time in human history, something synthetic had replaced something natural in the most basic act of cleaning. Think about that. 7 years. Thousands of years of natural soap. 7 years to replace it. Because the marketing was good, the foam looked impressive, the clothes smelled like something, and the price was right. The switch didn't happen because it was better for you. It happened because of a war, because of a shortage, because of a patent, because synthetic was cheaper to produce and easier to sell. That decision was made for you, before you were born, without your consent. So, what is actually in synthetic laundry detergent? What replaced the fats and oils and lye? I want to walk you through the main categories, not to overwhelm you, but because once you see this, you cannot unsee it. We've got synthetic surfactants. The most common are sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium laureth sulfate, SLS and SLES. derived from petroleum, processed so intensively that any natural claim is largely meaningless. By design, they are cell membrane disruptors. That's what makes them clean things. The problem is they don't stop disrupting when they touch your skin. Nonylphenol ethoxylates, NPEs. You won't see this on a label, but NPEs are still used in many American laundry products. They're banned in the European Union, banned in Canada. And once they go down the drain, they break down into nonylphenol, a compound that mimics estrogen in the body. Let's land that for a second. Male fish developing female characteristics downstream from where we wash our clothes. That should be an indicator. And this compound is still legal here. Synthetic fragrances. The word fragrance on a label it's a legal loophole. Under U.S. law, manufacturers can hide more than 3,000 different chemicals under that single word. They don't have to disclose them. They're protected as trade secrets. Many of the chemicals hiding under fragrance are phthalates, known as endocrine disruptors. 3,000 chemicals. One word on the label, and it's sitting in a bottle that says fresh linen and has flowers on it. 1,4-dioxane. This will never appear on a label, not because companies are hiding it intentionally, but because it's not an ingredient. It's a byproduct of the manufacturing process. The EPA classifies it as a likely human carcinogen, and because it's technically a contaminant rather than an ingredient, there is no requirement to disclose it. A known carcinogen, not listed, not required to be listed, on shelves of every grocery store in America. Then we've got optical brighteners. These don't clean anything. They coat your fabric with UV reactive chemicals that make clothes look whiter under light. They sit on the fabric against your skin all day, and they don't wash out easily. They're designed to stay. And this is just laundry. We haven't even talked about dish soap yet, or fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Every load of laundry you do, the chemicals in that detergent are going into the fabric of the clothes against your skin. They're going into the hot water that becomes the steam that you breathe. They're rinsed into the waterways where they accumulate and break down into compounds the planet doesn't recognize. And this has been happening in almost every American household since the 1950s. I noticed the effect of laundry detergent in my own family first. After laundry day, the kids would break out in a horrible rash directly from the detergent. So I gradually cut back, and then significantly, and eventually removed it completely because it was that disruptive. The only laundry detergent I use now is Miracle 2, and I use that for every soap in the house. People massively underestimate how harmful this detergent stuff is. It seems so ordinary, so typical. Everybody does it. It's just laundry. And then you see it on your child's skin, and you can't unsee it. Dishwashing tells a similar story. Before the 1950s, people washed dishes with bar soap, the same soap used for laundry or bathing, or with washing soda or borax, or simple hot water and abrasives. The first liquid dish soaps began appearing in the mid-20th century. The formulation? Synthetic detergents. The same petrochemical derived surfactants as laundry products. The pitch was the same. Better cleaning, more foam, more convenience, but your hands are in this solution. In hot water nonetheless, which opens the pores even further every night for years. And the surfactants in that dish soap were designed to penetrate. That's their entire job. They don't check whether they've reached the plate yet before they keep going. I think about someone doing dishes every night, 365 days a year, for decades, with their hands in a solution of synthetic surfactants, synthetic fragrances, foaming agents, and preservatives. And then they wonder why their skin is dry, itchy, cracked, and bleeding, why they're reactive to things they didn't used to be reactive to, why something feels off. Nobody connects the dish soap. Nobody thinks to look there. We are not designed to process petrochemicals. We're not designed to process synthetic musks or artificial surfactants. The body has systems for dealing with toxins. The liver, the lymph, the kidneys, the skin. These are brilliant, sophisticated systems, but they were built for a world of natural toxins, plant compounds, things the body has evolved with that for thousands of years. Synthetic chemicals, especially endocrine disruptors, are of a different category. They mimic molecules the body already uses. estrogen, testosterone, thyroid hormones. They fit into receptor sites like a copied key, close enough to get in, wrong enough to disrupt the signal. So the body doesn't detox them the way it detoxes other things. It doesn't always recognize them as foreign. They accumulate in fat tissue, in organs, in blood. And the effects are not immediate. That's the thing. This isn't like food poisoning where you know something happened. This is a slow, quiet accumulation that shows up years later as fatigue, as hormonal imbalance, as thyroid dysfunction, as fertility challenges, as brain fog, chronic inflammation, as something just being off in a way that no standard blood panel seems to explain. That's what makes it so hard. By the time you feel it, the source is invisible because it's in your laundry room and it's been there your whole life. Better living through chemistry. There's a phrase from that era. It was DuPont's slogan, and it captured the spirit of the time perfectly. Post-war America was in love with technology, with newness, with science. The idea that modern chemistry could improve every aspect of your life, your food, your clothes, your home, your cleaning products. But mixed in with the genuine advances was a wholesale replacement of natural with synthetic, without asking whether synthetic was actually better, just different and cheaper to produce. The food industry went through the same thing. Hydrogenated oils replaced natural fats. Artificial dyes replaced natural colorings. We now know how that story ended. We're still reversing it. The cleaning product industry is 30 years behind that conversation. Most people haven't even started asking the question yet. Early synthetic detergents were found to be carcinogenic and pulled from the market, only to be quickly replaced with the next generation of chemical solutions. The cycle has continued. The promise keeps moving forward. The body keeps accumulating the consequences. What the research shows. I'm not going to tell you the science is fully settled. Industry influence on research is real, and I'm not pretending otherwise. But here's what I will tell you. When 28 countries ban a compound from household products, that's not a fringe position. That's a verdict. The United States just hasn't caught up yet. NPEs banned in the EU and Canada. The research was strong enough that regulators decided we are not allowing this in homes. Phthalates linked to endocrine disruption, not fringe science, replicated across hundreds of studies. The debate is about how much exposure causes harm, not whether harm is possible. 1,4-dioxane, classified by the EPA as a likely human carcinogen, in products on grocery store shelves right now, not listed. Synthetic fragrances linked to asthma, eczema, respiratory issues, one of the most common triggers for chemical sensitivity, a population that is growing. And across all of this, across every one of these compounds, the word you'll see over and over is accumulation, not acute poisoning, not one exposure that breaks you. Slow, quiet, cumulative, over years of doing laundry, washing dishes, over years of thinking you were just keeping your home clean. In my work, I see a pattern. People come to me with symptoms that don't have a clear explanation. They've done the blood work, the thyroid panels. They've been told everything looks normal. And yet, something is clearly wrong. Fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, weight that doesn't respond to diet, brain fog, mood shifts, hormone irregularity, irritability, a general sense that the body isn't working the way it should. And when we start looking at the full picture, not just what they're eating, but what they're breathing, what they're wearing against their skin, what they're cleaning their home with, the picture gets clearer. Environmental toxins are one of the most underlooked root causes of chronic, unexplained symptoms. Not always the only cause, often not the first cause people think to look at, but almost always part of the load. Your body has a toxic burden, a total amount of chemical stress it's managing. Every source adds to that burden. The good news: white vinegar in the rinse cycle does the same job as fabric softener. 0 synthetic chemicals. About 30 cents a load. We just forgot that because someone made a bottle with a bear on it and called it something snuggly. Here's what I love about this particular piece of the puzzle. It's one of the easiest to change. Food can be complicated. Stress is complicated. Childhood trauma stored in the body. We can talk about how complicated that is. But your laundry detergent, you buy a different one. You're done. Natural soap-based products exist. They've always existed. We just stopped using them. Washing soda, Castile soap, soap nuts, borax, plant-derived, genuinely biodegradable alternatives that clean effectively because they always did. The same with dish soap. The same with fabric softener. This is not deprivation. This is returning to something we knew before. We got sold the idea that synthetic was better. And it's not just sensitivity, symptoms, or children. Hulda Clark, who wrote The Cure for All Diseases, The Cure for All Cancers, and The Cure for All Advanced Cancers, documented the links between these man-made chemicals and cancers and discomfort and pain of all types. She was a biochemist. Her position was unambiguous. Everyone who wants to recover from cancer needs to completely remove these synthetic chemicals from their home. Not reduce, remove. And when they did, they immediately started approving because it reduces the toxic burden. That's it. That's the mechanism. It's the same principle we've been talking about this entire video. Stop adding to the load. Give the body room to do what it was designed to do. How this connects to root cause work. I want to be clear about something. Switching your laundry detergent is not a cure. If you have significant toxin accumulation in the body, or if your hormonal system is off, changing your soap won't reverse that. What it does is stop adding to the problem while you figure out what's already there. In root cause diagnostic work, what I'm looking for is the full picture, not just the most obvious thing. The combination of factors that has pushed your specific body past its threshold. For some people, environmental toxins are the dominant factor. For others, it's one layer among several. Either way, it belongs in the conversation. And most practitioners never ask. When I work with someone, we look at everything. What you're eating, what you're breathing, what's in your home, what your stress system is doing, what your hormones look like, what your gut is doing, what emotional patterns might be locked in the body, because the body doesn't separate these things. It's experiencing it, all of it, simultaneously. The root cause is rarely one thing. It's the combination and the specific way that combination is showing up in your particular system. That's the work, not another protocol, not another supplement. Finding the actual answer specific to your body, your history, your load. That's what one session with me is designed to do. And most people tell me it's the first time anyone has looked at the whole picture. Well now, we get to change all that right now, today. But I want to reframe what this actually is, because this isn't about saving money. You already know that. And honestly, this isn't even just about you. Every generation that came before you absorbed a little more of this. Your grandmother washed her clothes in it. Your mother grew up wearing fabric soaked in it. You've been breathing the fragrance chemicals off your own skin your entire life. The accumulation is generational, and so is the reversal. The decision you make today to reduce the chemical load in your home, that becomes the standard your children inherit, the normal your grandchildren grow up inside, the baseline your great-grandchildren start from. This isn't a wellness trend. This is health wisdom handed down, the kind that used to travel through families before the industry interrupted the conversation. You're not just cleaning your clothes differently. You're changing what gets passed on. You've spent years being told everything looks normal while you know something isn't. That's exactly who this is built for. The link is in the description. One session. Real answers. Come find out what's actually going on. And if you want to keep learning here, subscribe, because this is just one piece. There's a lot more to show you. See you on the other side.